What is good, y'all? SCG gang, man. It's your boy GM Smooth back here with the Angels and getting ready for our first off season of the series. And now we can officially say the rebuild is getting kicked off as we ended year one, fourth in the division, only about 72 or 73 wins this year. So we're not part of this playoff bracket, unfortunately, but we will still see how it shakes out. But I still think it was a very productive year where we learned a lot about the team and some of our younger prospects and getting a good look at what the future has to hold. So a good place to start out with that is, of course, the stats from last season. I mean, we did a lot of good things. We hit a lot of home runs this year. Averages were pretty low, but, Mike Trout had a phenomenal season. 90 runs here for us. Had over 100 hits, not leading the way behind Zach Neto, though. 154, leading the team at 24 years old, up to an 86 overall with great development here throughout the first year, getting his contact versus right up by +5. While he's got that 99 contact left is a great resolve. Trout, like we said, 45 for 106 in his home runs. Jorge Soler also had 30, had about 5 guys total hit 20 plus, as Joe Adele also cracked that board there for us with his 96 power left, which just saw a +6 boost. Now we can just get his contact right up a little bit. I think he could still be strong. Finished out the year on a cold streak, but this year for Mike Trout was kind of like, I remember mentioning, do we move on from him early in the series? Do we keep him around to see if he's in his window? And a 45 home run season here at age 33 and batting 283 tells me he might need to be here for just a little bit longer. As his 106 RBIs led the team and 25 slow bases by Zach Neto led the way for us. But we definitely have to look at these averages. I mean, we had 2 guys hit over 300. One was our backup catcher. Our first baseman, though, Nolan, who I said we're going to build around at first base, saw great development to his hitting. We just got to get his defense up. He had over 300 this year before getting taken out by the fractured wrist, missing the last 2 months there of the season. And he was just a phenomenal player all season around. Now, of course, for a team that didn't do well defensively, though, those defensive numbers are definitely going to hopefully come back to not haunt us there at first base. As he ended up finishing third on base as well, right behind Mike Trout. And the errors just kind of racked up, especially for our middle infield. Luis Refrango, whose fielding is at a 44, led us with 18. But Mike Trout in WAR, 5.2, Nolan 2.8, Neto 2.8 as well. This team has a lot to build upon. And I think it starts off keeping the power, because that's one of the hardest things to build. A team that actually can do power hitting and can be a power force, but also being able to score runs outside of that. We struggled to bring runs across outside of just hitting home runs. We struggled to keep leads. As you can see, we lost a lot of games here. 6 blown saves for our closer. Not too many, but definitely wanted to see a little bit better. But the ERAs are kind of what took me out. The walk rate was pretty high for this team, 72, leading the way. Only 1 guy striking out over 100 batters. But we had 6 guys have an ERA above 4, or 5 guys have an ERA above 4. Had 3 guys above a 1.5 whip. Not many quality starts at all, which that goes to factor into the stamina problems that I think we're seeing with today's game. Not a lot of guys are going deep into ball games. But as we scroll over here, you can see the home runs. 27 given up there by Jack Deep. Nobody really had as good WAR as we saw with our hitters. But the walk rates here, we have 3 guys above a 5, 5 guys above 4. Home run rates, we have a lot of guys over 1. And the FIP numbers here, we've seen some guys have a 5 FIP. Jordan Hicks was not good after his trade, even despite the injury, as we had 4 guys total be above 5. And one guy that didn't get shown was our best starting pitcher, UC here. He, for whatever reason, got moved down to AAA when we went to the offseason, but by far our best pitcher. He was definitely the ace. At 33, I think he can give us a couple more years. That'd be great while some of our younger talent develops. But nobody was touching him. I mean, 14 quality starts would have led the team. 2.82 ERA led the team. 0.96 whip led the team. A 3 WAR led the team. I mean, he was definitely a phenomenal pitcher in every aspect of the game. And that's what we kind of got to build off of. The good pitchers that we have, while we let the younger ones come up, are good hitters, which thankfully are our young players in Nolan and Zach Neto. And just hopefully guys like Joe Adele can come up, our rookie that we just drafted, who hopefully does great in spring, so we can bring him up immediately and let him contribute to the roster, keeping Mike Trout at where he's at. As you see at home runs, he actually finished 4th in the American League with his 45. Just behind the league leader with Yordan Alvarez hitting 52 and 132 RBIs, also leading the league in that category as well. And then it's just about scoring guys around. We had guys get on base. Great on base numbers here. We see we are 1 and 2 in the American League with that. We just have to find ways to bring them around and have our pitching staff actually match up with that. So that's going to be my biggest focus this year as we go into free agency, finding guys that can come in and pitch with low walk rates or at least get more strikeouts and then get our defense better. As you can see here, ERA didn't have anybody anywhere close. I guess they didn't have UC on here just because they got moved down to AAA. But he would have been up there in the top ranks. But glad to see we weren't the only team kind of struggling to get deeper into ball games. As you can see, like the not here with the strikeout leaders. I'm surprised the Dodgers had 2 guys get over 200 strikeouts. That team's obviously going to be terrible to deal with here in the postseason. But innings pitched, only a handful of guys here over 200 as opposed to years ago when that was like the normal. And then the WAR ratings, of course, it's going to be better for the batters. But I thought Mike Trout would have been higher. He's all the way down here at 12. And this is where we can really kind of look to see where the team is ranking at. 11th in batting average, batting 256. Runs, we ended up going down to 11. So about midway through as far as our hitting and our scoring offense. Home runs was another big area that I wanted to focus on. We ended up finishing 7th in that with 202, so cracking the top 10. RBIs, we were middle of the pack in that too as well. On base percentage and slugging percentage, pretty mid-tier for both of these two at about 10, which is where I want to stay, at least in that top 10 ranking. As you can see here, we fall just slightly out of it at 12. But that, looking at those ratings, you would think, okay, this is a pretty good team. Until you look at our fielding, which is dead last in the league at .982. Didn't even have a single guy have a perfect fielding rating out of everybody. Even our backup catcher had an error in there. ERA, we're in the bottom half in the league here as a team as a whole, which it wasn't too bad. I mean, we're still sub 4 at a 3.98, but that ERA has to get better if we're going to win some of these games. A lot of the games you saw we were losing, we were scoring a lot and just giving up even more. So home runs allowed, we ended up finishing off here tied for 17th with 183. Got to get that number down. And win percentage, we ended up finishing as the 4th worst team in the American League, 6th worst team overall in all of baseball. So that'll at least give us some good draft odds, maybe to get back to that number 1 pick or top 3 pick. We'll have to see when the draft lottery rolls around. But of course, we've got to take a break here talking about ourselves, as it looks like the Dodgers defeat the Orioles in the 2025 World Series. You can see the bracket kind of break down here for us. You can see Seattle went all the way there, but lost to Baltimore in 5. The Dodgers took down the Cubs in 5, and they ended up taking down Baltimore in 5 too as well. They're going to take the championship away from them. And the championship is going back to the National League, which thankfully we don't have to see much of them, but we do have to face off against teams like Seattle, Houston on our end. But James Outman ends up winning World Series MVP. Postseason MVP goes to Gunnar Henderson for the American League. 4 home runs, 12 RBIs in the postseason is nothing to slouch at. But Shohei Ohtani, 7 home runs, 14 RBIs. Postseason MVP, but not World Series MVP, as they just had somebody play slightly better when it was just World Series time only. You notice that we don't have too many award winners. I mean, the season was built around Mike Trout. Nolan finished 3rd in batting title. He probably could have got it if he played the last couple months, but the only person that we really got to hang our hat on this season as a phenomenal season was Mike Trout. And if he can continue to do stuff like that for us, I think that he can stay around long enough that I can build other pieces around. He might be in our championship window in his last 2 years. I think we probably need about 2 or 3 years of building before we can start to see ourselves really push for contention. And with a team that already was set up to pretty much kind of win some, it might be kind of tough to keep my job if we don't get to the postseason here in 3 seasons. So we'll definitely be pushing for that. As you see, Jorge Soler finished 3rd in Silver Slugger for DH. So whether we keep him around or not is going to be a big question, or if we try to trade him, since we do have somebody like Mike Trout, and just try to let it build up. But as we go to get kicked off for the offseason, you see a lot of our coaches here are retiring or just flat out not returning. So we're going to have a lot that we need to fill in here going through that. Take a quick look at retired players. Nobody from our team, thankfully, as we do see a couple of big names. Max Scherzer retiring throughout the league. But thankfully, we don't have to worry about any retirees as our team isn't too old. We just are filled with a bunch of people that don't have too much talent. Scherzer also gets into the Hall of Fame, which I swear it seems like every movie to show he's always retiring the very first season and going straight to the Hall of Fame. But I go in here and I look and see this might be the reason why the team was struggling with a lot of different things. We have a lot of coaches on this coaching staff. I mean, 3 out of 4 being straight negative. So I went ahead and basically kind of cleaned house. Even here, -2 fielding when we're one of the worst. We are the worst fielding team in the league. Had got to go. -3 bunting. I could take that, so we keep Odell. But we're going to go with that completely new coaching staff underneath GM Smooth. So here for manager, I'm looking at Chris Woodard. He has got +3 power, +3 bunting. You see a couple guys here that are good, but why not go with the best available? He's got his A on his attribute grade. There are a couple other guys that had 4 straight positives, like Curtis Bennett here. But I just like Woodard's, +3 power, +1 stamina, and +3 speed. Didn't really care so much about the drag bunting, so we offer him a 3-year, $23 million deal that I actually increased when I saw that little rate. That's why I love that they give you this little marker so you can see what the interest level is. So I can go back and rechase it because I do not want to lose out on him. He's my number 1 option, really my only option when it comes to GM. Now, the next thing that I look for, you guys can let me know if you guys do something different. When it comes to other coaches, I'm okay taking a minus rating if it's a rating I don't care about, like bunting. That's not going to be something that's going to be too much part of our game. I'm not going to be too focused in on that. So minus that, -3 break here, I'm not too concerned with, especially when we're getting +3 to control. So we'll be able to locate better, even though if it's not dropping, be able to hit the corners. So we're getting somebody like Leo Morales here to be your pitching coach, first base. We're looking to try to hit on this defense a little bit, so it's going to help out with our reaction there. Then here, helping out with true fielding is Christopher Shepard with a +3 fielding rating by him at third base. So we'll be kind of looking to see how these deals shake out, and this will be the first thing that you take care of in our free agency period is making sure that coaching staff is right, because these boosts are going to go a long way with helping out our rookies, helping out our growing defense, and I think just helping keep the power up too. Is what I told you is one of the things I want to keep is power on this team. And my favorite part about the offseason here for MLB The Show is how everything is broken down into different categories. You have the exclusive negotiations. You got the contract renewals. You got arbitration. You've got actual open free agency markets. So there's plenty of chances to sign the guys that you need to and on different types of deals. You see here, I'm looking at the qualified offers. None of these guys are getting $21 million for me. So, and I don't think anybody else is offering them $21 million. So I'm not doing the qualified offer because the way that works is basically if somebody else signs them, I get a draft pick. But I don't think anybody's signing any of these guys to $21 million deals. So I'm just kind of looking around to see, who we can offer some deals to at least. Maybe not the qualified offer, but it's still at least making them an offer. And somebody like Kevin Newman here, who had a pretty good backup season at second base. I think bringing him back for one more year to be on the bench at 75 is not too bad. And only asking for, he's asking for $7 million a season. I'm going to try to lowball because I don't think anybody else in free agency would want something like that. Even something like Luis Refringo, even though the defense was bad, still he's an 80 overall second baseman, could come in and still be a backup, and we could look to still upgrade this position. I don't know, for $11 million, as he's only 29 years old, I don't think a 2-year deal here would be too bad. 2 years, 23.8 season. I don't think that would be bad at all. As we go to get our manager, Chris Woodard, signs here with the Angels. We get our third base coach there too as well. And then our pitching coach is signed too as well. So there we go. Got at least 3 coaches down before we even hit arbitration. So now through this, you can see I offered some arbitration, but I also offered deals here to Neto and Logan. I didn't think they deserved long-term deals. I could have looked at that option as long-term deals, but they didn't do enough for me to feel like I want them around long-term. I still think they got to prove their worth just a little bit more. And then this is the contract renewal screen where you get to sign them back for at least 80% of their deal. So some of these you can actually lower what they made last year. I can offer them a deal lower than what they made last year and save a little bit of money, which I ended up doing for most players. So you're going to see us offer a couple deals to big names like Nolan, offering him obviously a bigger deal than just a contract renewal, try to get him locked up for a couple years here. Now, the more years you tack on, the more money they're going to want because you're going to eat into their arbitration and free agency years. So I just went into his arbitration period here for 3 years, around $4.2 million a season. So $12.6 million deal. Same thing for somebody here like Matt Shaw. I was looking to see if we can possibly get him around long term. After we traded for him, he's got a potential. He grew significantly this season. Still only a 69 overall, but produced 275 average and 182 bats at the big league level. He definitely will still be competing for a roster spot during spring, but offered him a long-term deal as well. As you can see, a lot of our other guys getting signed, rookies getting signed to their deals, and it's time to go ahead and set up my 40-man roster. This is where I clear out some room so I can just go ahead and sign as much free agents as I need to, Rule 5 draft if we need to, and get guys on this roster that are going to compete in spring to get on this top 26-man. So I'm dropping a couple guys down off of the 40-man roster. Going to have to clear waivers, of course, but this will give us about 9 players worth of room here after I finish getting everybody off. We have 31 people left on the 40-man, and now we're ready for the open market, which sees Kyle Tucker, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Framer Valdez, it is a big free agency window right here. So none of those guys are people we're signing. They're all in their lower to mid 30s, which you can still be good at that point, but we're not in a window where that signing is going to get us over the edge. So once again, like I said earlier, looking for defense, looking for more of a power pitcher here so we can get some strikeouts. To upgrade that, we only have one guy over 100 strikeouts. Team needs for me, I think, is definitely starting pitching, second base, and a closer. We did let our closer go because he was, I want to say 35. Jensen's 35, I think, at this point. So definitely let him go. I wanted to see if there was anything in free agency that was at least a little bit younger. I'm okay with 32 at closer. And I want to try to draft a closer at some point in this series to see if we can get a high ranking, high potential closer that can really come over and take over this team. So looking off rip, I wanted to start with starting pitchers, and I wanted to look for a caliber of guy that can be here for at least a couple seasons and be a solid guy in the rotation. So a couple guys that caught my eye was like Mike Soroka here at 32 years old, just coming off a pretty good year, 294, but before that, 2 bad years with Atlanta and the White Sox. Had me kind of a little hesitant to look at some of his ratings, and compared to someone like Aaron Savale, I think that's how you say his last name here, 382. He seems like he goes back and forth between the 4 and the 3 ERA, kind of jumping around from team to team after leaving Cleveland. But a solid season last year with Milwaukee, which saw him have a 3.82 ERA. Just looked like a very strong starting pitcher that I wanted to at least go ahead and get on my board first. And he had some decent interest in our team and what we would want to do. Next, we look for our closer of the future here, and I'm between Devin Williams, who is 31, had 52 saves last season, so one of the higher closers in the game. And then obviously Ryan Hensley here. They're pretty much my only 2 options that I'm looking. I'm weighing back and forth between the 2. Who do I want? And that 5 ERA told me, and 12 blown saves told me I need to go the other direction. How he's still asking for so much money after such a bad season, I don't know. But I think Devin Williams definitely would be the play here as somebody can come in and immediately make an impact. So we got 2 guys off rip, off the top 150 board, off the top 25 really. And I want to kind of fill up this board. I don't want to just focus on 2. I want to get 3. And we already talked about moving on in second base. Gleyber Torres is here, but that defense is kind of low too as well. So if I'm going to go low defense, I might as well get better offense with somebody like Refringo, who I already thought was on my thing anyway. So I already got 58% motivation to sign since he was a former player of ours. So we go ahead and sign another coach there for us. So we only have 1 more left. And I wasn't sure when free agency popped up. It is once a week here, so it's every Wednesday, I think, or after every Tuesday. We get to finally go back and look at them. So the only person left here is the first base coach, and Christopher Shepard. He's now got a deal from the Diamondbacks, 2 years, $2 million, compared to our 3 years, 2.9. So I go back in, I just upgraded it a little bit, just added basically another, what is that, 0.1 million, so 3 years, $3 million, to go right back on top of the Diamondbacks. But now you see interest is starting to show up. Devin Williams is not interested in coming here, especially when he has other teams like the Braves interested in bringing him in at 37%. Where it's got a long uphill battle and got to hope that one of them don't offer first. But at 61% here, Luis Refringo, why not just go ahead and bring him back to the team? He wants 2 years, $11.9 million. So I upgraded a year and a little bit more of the money to $12.6 million a year here, between there and 12.4. I just wanted to keep it around 64%. So 3 years, $12.3 million. We go ahead and send his contract offer across with a +5 boost since we offered to him first. And we have a decision already coming in, so it's got to be on Lewis because he's the only deal that I've offered here to this point. Will he sign with us or one of the other 2 teams on the list? The contract is up on the screen. I think that's a good sign, and we do bring him back to the squad. Luis Refringo will go ahead and sign back to us. So there goes second base taken care of. We at least got a good guy there in case we can't find any other depth. Maybe we do still have Christian or down in the minors that could possibly take up, as we got some big names out there. Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers, great. After having 2 really good pitchers, they go get another good hitter. Exactly what I want to see. As Aaron Cleve here needs $15 million to sign. And one thing I noticed when I was looking at the other recruits is you'll actually be locked out of people when their asking price is more than what you have available to spend. They won't even let you lowball them. So here I was looking for a way to sign him and still get a chance to get the other 2 dudes because they want $13 million. And when I go down, it goes down to 64%. I really don't want to miss out on my starter like this. So what I do instead is I go look for a potential trade opportunity for Anthony Rendon, who's eating up $37 million at AAA. At 35 years old, 66 overall. I just wanted to look for a team that needed a third baseman that he could actually come in and produce. And when I was looking at different trade offers here, the Cubs were one team, but the Nationals actually gave me one of the best offers here with a potential 22-year-old right fielder. Now he's got 44 overall, so he's going to take him a lot of work to get to where he needs to be, but I felt like this was fair. Somebody's going to take a lot of work to get to where he needs to be, but has a high ceiling for a guy that would actually come in and be a starter on their roster. He'd be the best third baseman already, and they wouldn't even have to go sign anybody. And he, I think, can still produce at 35. So I offer this contract offer here. I take off the other person just because I felt it was more fair that way. So I cleared us up to get up to $50 million in cap space. So now I can offer Aaron Civale his deal at 66% motivation. We're the first team to ask him to sign, so we get a +5 boost there to get up to 71%. Devin Williams is in a now or never situation. This is new. Okay, so we basically get a chance to offer him here because somebody is close. We don't know who it is, whether it's Atlanta, Philly, or a mystery team, but somebody offered him a deal and he's about to either take it or ours. His motivation went down to 41% since we weren't the first team to offer. So I'm going to have to extremely highball him here if we want to bring him into the team. So I at least go up to 50% here with a 3-year, $16 million deal. So keep this in mind. 3 years, $16 million is what we're prepared to offer him. I re-looked at his stats and saw if it was worth it. To me, the 99 strikeout per 9, hit per 9, and pitching clutch and break definitely make this worth it, especially with the velocity and control where it was at. Overpaying this much when he only wants 13, adding an extra $3 million a year. So a total extra $9 million on the deal. As he goes in and makes his decision. Cell phone pops up this time, not a phone or not a pen. He's going to go to Atlanta, man. He signs with them 4 years, $13 million a season instead of taking our 3 years, $16 million deal. So we missed out on our top closing prospect there. There's another contract decision coming in. We did offer Civale. Is he coming to the squad this time? This is a pin. And last time we got that, we got a contract signed. There's the contract emblem, man. He's coming to the Angels. Aaron is on the squad here. 2 years, $15 million a season. So that's $30 million total. As Vladimir Guerrero signs a basically under $50 million deal to go to the Twins over 6 years, making the American League just that much tougher. But now you see our next group of 3 here. Dylan Moore at second base to get some position flexibility. We also got Luke Weaver as a relief pitcher and Ryan Hensley as closer. We do always want to upgrade the bullpen as much as possible. Here, 28% motivation to sign. It's either now or never between us, Atlanta. Why would Atlanta want to move in again? Boston and Philadelphia. So, I mean, at 28%, I mean, I'd have to significantly overpay, and he's already won $13 million season. I'm just going to go not interested. He's going to choose Philadelphia, but, yeah, that was going to be a losing battle here as we have a free agent opportunity. Reaching out to you because Walker Buehler happens to have a great addition to your clubhouse. Let me know what you think of him. He's got 73% motivation to want to come here, so he wants to come here. He's the 109th ranked free agent. B potential, 71 overall. Looks like the ratings are in a pretty good spot. The home run per 9 is kind of low, but 99 break, 98 velo. It's going to definitely be a power pitcher like what we're looking for. Coming off 2 bad seasons, but maybe, just maybe, he can revitalize himself and come back to us and do a little bit better. Plus, we're looking for extra, depth in our starting pitcher works. We want to get another arm in there that could potentially work for us. So I think this might be a good signing here. I did not know that they would come to me and offer me up deals, but here we can either add them to the big board, offer a contract, or just say not interested. I think here with the way that our starting pitcher work out, we have Adam now, Reed Detmers, but the last 2 spots are still up for grabs. So we still could use 2 more hands on deck, more than what we already got on the team. So I'm just going to go straight to offer a contract. He's at 73%. No need to even add him to the big board. I'm just going to go ahead and look here. He wants $8.3 million a season or $6.3 million a season. So I'm going to offer him exactly that. Now going back to the closing pitcher market, we add Jordan Romero to the board here this time around to go along with our other 2 as decisions being made for Walker Buehler. And of course, he'll go ahead and come to the squad. And our first base coach chooses the Diamondbacks. Christopher Shepard is not coming to LA. So the first time we've lost out on a coaching battle, we'll just go ahead and switch things up here and go Ali Flutie. Plus is all around, +2 arm accuracy, +1 fielding. And we only one in the market for him. So with that being said, we go to the 2025 draft lottery, where we had the 6th best record. So we have a 7.5% chance of getting that number 1 overall pick. White Sox, Rays, and Marlins all have the top odds. So now the only thing left to do, though, is to simulate the draft lottery and see, do we get good luck or are we staying right where we're at? Got the GTA loading screen here taking forever to load it in, and we actually get bad luck. We actually drop a spot to 7 as the Guardians leapfrog us to 6, leapfrogging up 4 spots, and the White Sox drop down 2 spots out of the worst record going to pick 4. Marlins take the number 1 overall pick this year. Rays stay at 2. Rockies move up 1 to 3. So it looks like the Marlins get the most amount of luck there, getting up to the number 1 pick. And we have another now or never here. Lost 5% motivation since we didn't offer him first, but Luke Weaver at 49%. It's between us, the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Red Sox. He wants like $6.2 million a season for 1 year. I think with these ratings, it's definitely worth bringing him in. He has had a great ERA the past 2 seasons, so I think it's worth it. We're going to go ahead and add an extra year in to give more security. And we're going to get this percentage way up here to about 58%, 2 years, $7 million. Of course, he's going to make a decision. Remember, the pen is the good luck charm. Don't give me a cell phone. Dang it, man. We lost. I overpaid for him too, but he's going to the Brewers. So they offered him 2 years, $6.3 million a year. I mean, hey, they overpaid too as well. Actually, no, they underpaid compared to what we did. So it is what it is, though. Rival opportunity here is the Rangers going to go after Zach Eflin, but we've already gone after a starter. Not impressed with where his numbers are at. Had a pretty good ERA, but I don't think we can take on a 4-year, $28 million contract. So I'm going to let them have that. Now, we still do have Jordan and Dylan, so we add Bo Bichette too, just to work on shortstop. He can come in and help out. If we can get him and Zach Neto on the field at the same time, I think that would be dangerous. And let Refringo come off the bench, and somebody like Dylan Moore who could play basically everywhere on the field except center field and catcher. I think it'd be good to go ahead and offer him over a deal here. So 2 years, $6.8 million deal with 68% motivation. We'll go ahead and have him set up with the deal. We're going to also offer here to Jordan Romano, who's already at 63%. Love what the numbers are at. ERA was kind of high, but I think he can come in and be a good closer for us this year. Obviously, we have no other option. He's our third option, closer. So we're going to have to hope those 2 deals work out as we come into the Rule 5 draft. And this is where you can pick up players that basically have to stay on the roster all season. If we drop them out of our Ranger League roster, they go back to the original team. So you see 4 people getting picked here before we even go. The White Sox choose not to take anybody. And we will just look to see what the potential options are here. Is there any starters that are intriguing? Any relievers? Really don't look for too many hitters. But there are a couple of starters here like Hunter Abrego, 25 years old, B potential starter. He's a lefty too as well. And I like where the ratings are at. They can definitely still improve. I could see some growth here. He could be on the roster, or at least in the bullpen for a little bit. Jose Hernandez, very familiar with him if you remember the Pirates series, and he was a great reliever for us there. Very clutch, one of the very few people I trusted in that bullpen at all times. And at 28 years old, I think he could definitely be somebody that we lean on. So I'm going to go reliever here. Looks like nobody else wants to make a pick. 2 more people make a pick in round 2 with us, because I'm actually going to go after our starter 2 as well and bring back as soon as I find him here. Look at that, 54 overalls at the top of the list for all players. But as soon as I find him, I know he's a little bit ways down, but that B potential has me intrigued. Even if he has a bad year here, we can send him back down the year after, get some more development in year 26, and come back as a 27-year-old boss. So 2 really good players I think we picked up here. The Rockies go to make a 3rd selection, so they'll have to have 3 people on their 26-man already decided, basically. So we pretty much got 2. And that'll help us out, I think, get a lot better in our pitching rotation. Now, we do have a contract decision here for Jordan Romano, who will go ahead and join up the team as well, too. He accepts the 1-year, $7.2 million deal. So we have our closer now, have an extra bullpen arm, have 2 extra starters. Really, 3? Yeah, 3 extra starters, actually. Because Seville, Walker, and now the Rule 5 pickup there in Franco. And then Dylan Moore goes in and joins the team as well. So now we have a utility player, 2 years, $6.8 million. And this is when they started offering me a whole bunch of other people like that I didn't really feel like we needed. Nicky Lopez here wants to come here. Good defense, but it seems we already, have enough second baseman. I don't think he would have a role on this team. So I just go not interested there. You see, Boba should actually have 0% interest in wanting to come to us as we go to get Ollie as our first base coach. They want us to sign a Aroldis Chapman, who I thought at first I was like, okay, hold on, this is a great pick. He's still hitting triple digits, but the ERA last year was kind of bad. He's 36, old as ever. So we're going to say not interested there. Here with only 9% on Bo Bichette. The Blue Jays are wanting to offer him a deal. I'm thinking about trying to see what we can do from 9%. I mean, he's a very good player here. He's got very good defense. I'm going to at least throw out an offer to see. I mean, we don't have much spending money left, only $33 million. So 5 years, $23 million a season at 19%. I just wanted to see if it was possible. I mean, he's obviously lasted this long in free agency, so maybe he's not getting what he wants to. We get the cell phone of death, man. So they go there and pick him up. He's going back to the Blue Jays. He will go to Toronto, playing up north, 6 years, $19.5 million. And that'll lead us to our arbitration hearings where they side with us for Gonzalez. They side with us for Taylor Ward. So we're 2-0. Make it 3-0 with Zach Neto. 4-0 with Reed Detmers. Make that 5-0 with Brock. 6-0 with Jose. 7-0 for Joe Adele. Yeah, that arbitration meetings just loved us this year. 8-0 with Dakota Hudson. We completely won out arbitration. Not a single other person, I guess they didn't side with the players at all this year. They must have really been saying F the players, bump and cheer on the franchises. So that'll be where we kind of end things off here from a great spring training. We have 31 people on our 40-man roster, so we still have some people that have to add to it, of course, to build the team back up. But let me know what you guys think. How did we do? How did we build up the team? Did you guys like some of the moves that we made? I think we definitely did a lot to add in some more arms to at least give us some battles to watch through spring training to see who's going to be at the major league level. As we're going to add George Klassen here to the 40-man too as well to get him brought up, because I really feel like he should be up here. He had a great time down in AAA and AA last season. I think he deserves at least a shot at spring training, because why not? Samuel Aldridge here, I'm going to remove him from the 40-man roster. I don't see him kind of going anywhere with that. But adding in George here, because why not? So you go back up to 31, almost 32 players on the 40-man roster here. Just kind of looking to see if there's anybody else that we can kind of add to get as close to at least 40 as possible. So looking at our relief pitchers too as well, making sure everybody is added that we need to. And I can just kind of go through position by position, making sure we have everybody up here that I want to have an opportunity to at least compete for a spot. So there will be plenty of competition throughout the lineup, throughout the pitching rotation, for our starting five, for our bullpen, and really for the bench. I pretty much in mind got who I want my starters to be at exactly every position. So we'll be kind of looking, though. I think this year's the year that we bring up Christian. I think he does need a little bit more time down there in the minors. I'm not even going to let him start up his clock. Kyron Paris, they already had him up here, so I'm going to let him get that opportunity, as he did ball out of AAA. Matt Shaw, of course, is going to stay up here with us. You see, I'm still debating on this Christian Moore thing. I mean, his hitting ratings are just not there where I think he could be successful up here. Henry Piera, our first overall pick in the series, is definitely getting an invite to spring training at 80 overall off rip. He's coming up here for his first year. He will be playing at the major league level, at least as long as he does well at spring. You guys will see him on the major league roster day one. So be on the lookout for that to see how his spring training goes. I'm excited to see what he does and play with him for the first time. Rest of the outfield is pretty much kind of put intact. Joe Adele, the only center fielder that we're interested in. Trout, Jorge Soler, and Wright. And it does make me have to go sign a couple people in free agency that I think can want to compete for a spot. We have no backup first baseman right now, so I do go ahead and pick up somebody like Kyle Farmer here. And we ended up signing him here to a deal, a 1 year, $5.7 million deal to go ahead and come to the team. I tried to, up his money a little bit. Enrique Hernandez also here at third base to kind of help out just in case we don't want to go Matt Shaw, in case he can't earn that third base spot. He is only 69 overall. This gives us a little bit of an upgrade, at least backup plan at third base, as they are being stingy here with these contract offers. What they're looking for is exactly what they kind of want to get here. So if you try to lowball, they're not going to come through. 1 year, $4.8 million. He wanted a second year basically to kind of go up, which actually allowed me to lower the money a little bit. So we went down to $3.5 million a season, and he signs instead of 1 year, $4.2 million. Zach McKinstry as well to give us an option here at shortstop, who can also play third if we need him to, with good defense. That's another thing we're trying to bring, just more guys that can play defense off the bench. Going Uestri Ruiz here in center field at 27 years old, still has time to develop, which I think is a good thing about him too here as well, in case Joe Adele does not work out for us. Gives us another outfield option with 89 speed, somebody to come off the bench with 91 clutch too, can come in and running scoring opportunities. But that'll basically round it out there for us, man. We did our work in free agency, signed a couple of last minute free agents, and the battles are going to be crazy. We have 18 hitters up at spring training, so it's an even 9-9 roster to check out there for us. I forgot how many starters I think we had. I think we have about 8 or 9 up here, and then the rest are competing for bullpen roles. So basically the way I'll do it is half of spring training, we'll do one lineup, then I'll move in the other 9. They'll get the second half of spring training. Everybody listed as a starting pitcher will get at least 1 start, if not 2, to see how their season, how they play out. And then, of course, you get mad innings in the bullpen. So really, every starter will get at least 1 game to start and then be in the bullpen for the rest. It's going to be stats based. Best ERAs, best batting averages, best on base percentages are going to come up to the show. So next time out, what we will do is I will summarize spring training stats for you guys, do the final roster cuts, and we'll get into week one. I'm playing Madden again. Game 1 of year 2. As we go ahead and see how this team is made up and see what they can do for us. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know how you guys felt about the pacing. Did we go too fast? Do I need to slow it down? Let me know all that stuff down below in the comment section, how you guys are enjoying the videos, and we'll keep bringing more of these out to you guys. So it's been your boy GM Smooth, aka SGG, the King of Games. Thank you guys so much for the love and support for the series, and we'll be right back out with the Angels again this Saturday. Later.